I can't be the only one wondering about the whereabouts of Mason Greenwood. It's perplexing how his case, which was once broadcasted worldwide, suddenly went quiet. The lack of information is shocking, prompting me to scour the internet for every bit of detail I could find. I've compiled this information so that you won't be left with the same unanswered questions. Let's delve into the story. It all began in Bradford, where Greenwood was born, just an hour's drive from Old Trafford. At the tender age of 5, he started playing for his local team, and by the time he was 7, he had already joined Manchester United. Even at such a young age, his remarkable talent was evident. With exceptional speed and remarkable skill with both feet, he displayed his prowess not only in football, but also in running events. At the age of 13, he even broke the British 100-meter record for his age group. While Greenwood could have pursued a career as an Olympian, football remained his primary focus. By the time he turned 16, his skills were so highly regarded that he was included in Manchester United's under-18 squad. Remarkably, he scored 17 goals in 21 matches, topping the goal-scoring charts and winning the under-18 Premier League. As his career progressed, exciting opportunities arose for Greenwood. He traveled with the main squad for a Champions League match against Valencia and joined them on a tour of the United States. It was during this time that he played his first friendly match and secured his first professional contract. And when he finally made his competitive debut, he hit the jackpot by contributing to Manchester United's iconic 3-1 victory over PSG, sealing a remarkable comeback in the dying minutes. In the midst of his rise to stardom, Mason Greenwood, still a high school student, found love with a girl named Harriet Robson. However, their relationship faced its challenges and eventually came to an end during the global pandemic. Reports emerged suggesting underlying issues, although it seemed the breakup was a mutual decision due to the chaotic circumstances surrounding them. But the drama didn't end there. In September 2020, just before the new season began, the England squad traveled to Iceland for a Nations League match. All eyes were on Greenwood and Phil Foden, both expected to make their debuts and heralded as the future stars of English football. Foden started the game, while Greenwood was brought on as a late substitute. Despite the match not being particularly memorable, fans were thrilled to see their young talents donning the iconic white kit. Yet the following night, a massive blunder overshadowed everything. While in the team hotel, Greenwood connected with Icelandic model Nadia Gunnarsdóttir through a dating app. Their conversations led him to make a regrettable decision: to bring her to his hotel, breaching protocols in the midst of the pandemic. To compound matters, he even invited Foden along, asking if she had a friend to join them. This incident cast a shadow over their debuts and dominated the headlines. To their surprise, the girl Mason Greenwood and Phil Foden had invited to their hotel room revealed that her cousin had initially come along, but had left once they arrived. Undeterred, the two players urged her to bring her cousin back, so that Foden wouldn't be left alone. And indeed, she returned with her cousin. In leaked videos, a confused Foden can be heard asking why they had come to the hotel, to which Mason replied with a suggestive remark. From that point onward, they continued their evening, even receiving candy from the cousin, a humorous violation of the team's strict rules. However, things took a sharp turn when Mason decided to record videos that would later be leaked. Intruding into Foden's room, he captured footage of the two in their underwear, or in Foden's case, with his backside partially exposed. By 3 a.m., they returned to their respective rooms, but their actions hadn't gone unnoticed. Gareth Southgate, the England manager, took swift action, sending both players home and imposing fines for breaking quarantine protocols. Following this incident, Greenwood's international career came to an abrupt halt, while Foden would make his return after a 2-month absence. The question arose, what other information did they possess that led to these differing outcomes? Suspicion grew as officials remained tight-lipped, only acknowledging that there was a problem being handled. This controversy was just the beginning of a series of events for Greenwood. Despite rekindling his relationship with Harriet, he experienced a dip in form upon his return to his club. However, by March of the following year, he regained his stride, scoring 8 goals and providing 1 assist in 11 matches. Manchester United's qualification for the Europa League final offered hope. but they would ultimately suffer defeat in a penalty shootout, with David De Gea missing the decisive spot kick. The subsequent season began with a wave of high-profile transfers, including Cristiano Ronaldo, Rafael Varane, and Jadon Sancho. Greenwood's strong start, netting goals in his first 3 matches, had fans convinced that this would be his breakout season. However, as the season progressed, his goal tally stagnated at a mere 3 goals in 21 matches. It was evident that something was amiss, beyond the turmoil at the club and the managerial change from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to Ralf Rangnick. Then, on January 30th, it was confirmed that something serious was indeed troubling Mason Greenwood. Harriet Robson took to Instagram, posting stories displaying visible cuts and bruises on her arms. The captions left no doubt, insinuating that Greenwood had become a domestic abuser. The graphic nature of the content, combined with the potential harm it could cause to those who have experienced similar situations, led me to prioritize respect for the victims. The situation took a darker turn from that point onward. Greenwood's aggressive behavior escalated as he repeatedly demanded her silence, disregarding her pleas to refrain from having sex. Shockingly, he callously replied, "I don't care what you want," when she questioned why he treated her in such a degrading manner. As she began to whimper, he cruelly mocked her voice, adding to the torment she was enduring. At a critical juncture, the audio abruptly cuts off, possibly indicating that she pushed him during the altercation. Moments later, he chillingly warns her to push him again and witness the consequences. Once the audio surfaced on the internet, it spread like wildfire, leaving everyone in a state of shock. The beloved Starboy turned out to be an abhorrent figure. Within hours, Manchester United issued a statement acknowledging the circulating clips, followed by another declaring the indefinite suspension of Mason Greenwood. However, one puzzle piece emerged that seemed out of place within the narrative. Harriet's father claimed that his daughter never intended to release the audio and that her phone had been hacked. Oddly enough, he urged her to remove the evidence after becoming aware of the situation. The father's actions perplexed many, as it raised questions about why he would seek to suppress evidence of his daughter's abuse by a prominent celebrity. Instead of providing reassurance and support, his remarks seemed apologetic and oddly defensive of Mason's character. As the first day of this unfolding saga drew to a close, the most shocking news hit the headlines. Manchester police had arrested Mason on suspicions of assault. The following day, the charges escalated to include sexual assault and threats to kill, ensuring he would remain in custody for further questioning. On February 1st, Manchester United clarified the gravity of Greenwood's suspension, alleviating concerns of some fans. He was completely barred from participating in any training, matches, or advertising campaigns. The following day, Mason Greenwood was released on bail, with the condition that he would have to appear in court when required. Subsequently, news dwindled, mostly focusing on the repercussions and backlash Greenwood faced from various brands. He was removed from the Manchester United roster on their app, expelled from FIFA and Football Manager, and faced suspension followed by termination from Nike without compensation. Controversies emerged concerning how players within the team grappled with the situation, with rumors of a divided locker room. Lingard, who seemed destined to leave Old Trafford, was unexpectedly retained as an alternative to Greenwood, indicating Manchester United's resolve to exclude him. Fans expressed outrage over Manchester United, continuing to pay Greenwood his weekly wage of £75,000, as well as the substantial revenue of $267,000 generated from shirt sales. In response, the club halted all sales of Mason Greenwood jerseys and offered supporters the option to exchange their old jerseys with his name for new ones featuring a different player's name, a decision that was widely applauded. As for Harriet, the limited information available stated that she would be taking a break from social media, a post she made on Instagram while expressing gratitude for the support she had received. Additionally, she had been offered specialized support by the Greater Manchester Police. On the evening of February 2nd, 2022, Greater Manchester Police announced that Mason Greenwood had been dropped from all previous charges related to Harriet Robson. Their statement reads, "Given the media interest in this case, we are obliged to release new information that the 22-year-old youth, who has been arrested and charged in connection with this case, has been charged with the crime, to an investigation, no longer facing criminal proceedings. Before concluding, I would like to present something that vividly illustrates the severity of Mason's downfall. It serves as a poignant representation of the entire story, the progression of his market value according to Transfermarkt. At the age of 19, he was valued at an astonishing 50 million euros, making him the world's third most valuable teenager. Yet tragically, his worth has plummeted to a shocking absolute zero. From being hailed as a rising star to becoming utterly worthless, the graph paints a poignant picture of Mason Greenwood's tragic trajectory.